Man, we are a few weeks from Easter.
It's happening. Easter's going to happen.
It's happening. And it's been just a really great week around community. Listen to our staff. We have staff meetings Tuesday mornings and just get to hear wins and things like that. And just the last couple of weeks hearing about what's happening in community groups and in youth ministry, which is individuals who are serving, the baptism stories. It's been really neat. Just, and personal stuff in people's lives too. Just answered prayer.
Yeah. We get to hear both. You know, it's like sometimes we focus on all the prayer requests we get, and definitely we're definitely talking about a topic that stirs up a lot of things and people have a lot going on, but also in the midst of people's struggles and needing prayer and all of those things, God's taking a lot of ground and bringing a lot of healing and a lot of victory, and he gets all the praise for all that.
Yeah, you have to stop and show the wins and praise, and you have to laugh a little bit and stuff because, we're carrying some of the hard stuff for each other, right? We suffer together, and we also get to rejoice together, Scripture says. Hey, speaking of laughing together, so I wore this shirt today. I didn't even realize when I put it on.
Oh, your Bless Off shirt?
This says Bless Off. So if you never heard this, where this came from, I don't know if we've ever talked about this. It's kind of behind the curtain a little bit. So sometimes we're on stage, and we jumble our words or don't say things clearly, or something comes out not quite the way we want. And so Jeremy, who leads a lot at Morgan Hill and is our campus minister there, does a lot to oversee the campus. There was a day he was closing the service, and I think he was trying to say, God bless you, or and head out, or have a great day. And we have it on video. It was great. And he told people as they were leaving, bless off.
Yeah, it was incredible.
So Shelly made T-shirts for a few of us that say bless off. So that happens once in a while where we mess up. So let me fast forward to last week. I'm away on Thursday. I was meeting with a large nonprofit organization, and Justin's covering things, and he's preaching, and it's Thursday night, and all of a sudden I get a text.
I took this joke out because of it. So I didn't even get near it.
So I knew in the notes, when this person texted me, I knew in the notes we had talked about a part, we were talking about marriage, that, hey, our marriage, the way we live it out, it preaches to people. It says stuff to people.
It's a sermon.
It's a sermon. But apparently, the way they heard it, I don't know if this is true. It's not on video.
It is true. It's absolutely true. You go ahead and say it.
I'll say what I got. So I got a text from one of the young guys on our staff, and he goes, Justin just said, and he knew you weren't meaning to be there. Yeah, Hunter sold you out. So Hunter sends me a text while I'm away, and he says, Justin just said to married couples, if you do it too loud, the neighbors will hear. That's the way he did it. And he said, somebody in the front row, also from our staff,
it was Shelly.
Chuckled in the moment because you can understand how that could be taken. And then it created some laughter in the room. And I don't know if you backed off it or hold on, that's not quite how I meant that.
I had to step all the way.
I wish that was on video.
I had to step all the way in it. So this is what I said. I'll tell you the whole thing. And I knew that
we have not talked about this.
I knew that this was a potential problem with this joke. So I said, your life is a sermon. So how I treat my wife is a sermon to my spouse. It's a sermon to your kids.
To the kids, yeah.
It's a sermon to your extended family. If you do it right or wrong with the windows open, it's a sermon to your neighbors. And everybody was like, I was saying my neighbors have heard me yell at my kids or get into an argument with my wife. And everybody, I'm looking over at Shelly and I'm like, and
that wasn't said exactly how I think it meant.
And she's all, and I'm like, yeah. So we were way down the rabbit hole at that point.
Man, hey, as long as people got to laugh together.
No, but see, here's the thing. I didn't even expect my wife and kids to be there that day. So, I hadn't run through, all the things I was going to say. And Jen was very open and honest with people after the message too. She's like, oh yeah, it's great to hear Justin tell everyone that he needs to hug me and encourage me because these are things that that I've been telling him for the last few days. And so, but I didn't know she was going to be sitting in the front row, so I was under the hot seat the whole time. And so the audience on Thursday night loved that. So it was good times.
As you're talking about marriage, right, and how we're supposed to love well, right, and then just that statement, the way it came out from you, that's funny. And you're so great, just creating laughter and being able to be like, okay, maybe that didn't come out the right way.
I'll just send it. And I thought for sure it was Shelly that sent it to you. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, did you fire that off to Will? And she's like, no, it wasn't me. And I'm like, I don't know who sent it.
Yeah, because I sent you a message afterwards, I heard you said, and we were just saying, we didn't talk about it. We just laughed. Yeah, I know what it's like to say something on stage and be like, that didn't sound quite right.
Yeah, but it was so awkward. I had to fully jump in on it
So
because
great.
it's not. You can't come back from that.
Speaking of another one, and we stole this from another pastor. And we're doing the notes.
Oh, yeah.
I'd heard this. So there's a point in the message Sunday, maybe if you missed it, where we said there's a reason for all fights in a marriage, and then we just simply said we know what it is. It's PMS, or we put it on just those 3 letters on the screen.
Yeah,
like people at Morgan Hill, when I said it, weren't quite sure how to take it. Like, is he being funny or not? People at Fox right now were laughing with you, and we transitioned that, right? I mean, it's PMS, power, money, sex, right? We know what creates fights, what creates tension in us, right? Control, financial's a big part, right? Intimacy stuff's a big part. But yeah, people, when we just let it hang in there for a minute, weren't quite sure how to take that.
Oh yeah, it got pretty tense on my end, especially Thursday night, because they felt like, I think that audience felt like I just kept digging, like I was in a hole.
You're just like, is he going to survive the night?
Yeah, he's just dig up, stupid. Like I just kept going lower and lower. And so, no, I think we have to laugh. Listen, marriage is a big topic.
Yeah.
It's an important topic. I love what we were really trying to say. Like one of the parts of the message that you wrote, you said, listen, we need to reclaim what marriage is.
Yeah.
We need to reclaim, and this is what we know about marriage. Marriage is a good thing. It is a God thing. And the church needs to lift marriage higher. And we need to lift marriage above what our culture says. And so that all of that is true. And we tried to say that. But here's the other thing we were trying to say. Marriage is hard work. And because it's both of those things, I think it's good for us to bring some levity to it, because it is a very difficult, it's a challenging thing that we do. And our culture is against it. Like most of the people in your life would probably be okay if you dipped out on your marriage, like because they've seen
a lot, or they experienced, or they know how difficult it is.
Yeah,
right? People can easily justify not staying, and that's what we're going to talk about this week.
Yeah,
staying. We have people in our church that have been just married a couple of years. We have people married over 60 years. Like, what does it look like to stay? Because in this day and age, that's countercultural in many ways. And so you're right. We need to reclaim that, and we did kind of frame it in work. Marriage is work, and that's a good thing. Work is designed for us, right? We should be leaning into something, right? Anything that's worth doing is going to take work. And so we just simply broke it down like this way. Work is worship. That was the W. Mm-hmm. Work, right, has order to it.
Requires order.
So does marriage, right? Yeah. And that's okay to say. We need to talk about that more. It's okay, the roles that men and women have and how we love and respect one another. God has an order to that. If we're going to do well in our marriage, we better get the order. So then there's the R part, was reconciliation. Mm-hmm. Man, that is huge for me. And I'm so thankful that I have a wife, you would say the same about Jen, that gives a lot of grace, who chooses to lean in when it's messy and chooses to initiate trying to have the conversation or connecting instead of pushing away.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know.
Jump into this.
Okay. I'm going to make an assumption. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Like, I'm sure you and Dawn have disagreements. And like,
we never,
that never happens.
That's never. No.
Edit this.
Of course.
No, but like, I guess for Jen and I, we try to resolve the majority of our attention before we close our eyes. Like we try not to carry on a frustration or something into the morning. Like that, like we try to do the reconciliation. Now we might not resolve the whole situation, but we try to end the night. Hey, love you. Definitely try to end the night. This will be interesting. We try to end the night in the same bed. Yeah. Like I know some couples are like, you start talking to people, you're like, I'm sleeping in a different room of the house. Like, whoa, that's not good.
Let's hit on that for a minute. So Dawn and I, we have our tensions, right? We're raising kids. We have different opinions. I'll say things I shouldn't say. Mm-hmm. Schedule is hard. Right. And so there are times, I think this is important, where yes, we want to make sure we're okay before bed, but sometimes you don't have the bandwidth at night.
Right.
Sometimes and I'll be honest, a lot of times it's me, and I'll say, I can't talk about this now, or I'm frustrated about this. But again, I thank God for my wife. I know she has grace for me. I know that we're going to say, I love you to each other. We might know we're not happy in the moment. We know that we're going to go back, hopefully, and have the conversations we need to have, right? To be honest, it's usually me who wants to ignore it or just be like, let that just go away. That's how we men respond. And the wife's like, I need to process this, talk this out. I need you to understand my feelings, and we need to create space for that. But like, we've been very committed in our marriage that, man, we're going to sleep in the same bed. So there's never been a night where she's so upset with me that she doesn't show up in bed at some point. There's been a couple nights where we got really in a pretty intense argument late. We're already in bed and the conversation's not going well and we're frustrated. And again, I've walked out of the room. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this right now. And I doubt that I handled that correctly at all. And I've walked out of the room and thought, you know what? I'm just gonna sleep on the couch tonight. And I've actually there's a time when I laid down on the couch for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and I remember this. And I'm like, no, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't do this. You show back up. You be present where you're supposed to be present, right? Your presence says something about you're in this, right? That like, don't leave her in that space, right? You walked away, and I've gone back and got in bed, right? And I'm there, and it just says like, no, we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to address this. So yeah, don't walk away.
Right.
If the Holy Spirit convicts, like engage back in. It doesn't mean you can have the whole conversation.
Right.
That you're emotionally healthy, you're happy with each other, but be where you're supposed to be, and you're supposed to be in that marriage bed together, even if you're not talking.
Get that conversation on the calendar. So like,
just say, when are we coming back to it? That's fair.
Yeah, just get it on the calendar. I mentioned this, when I was speaking, like in order for us to have order, besides reconciliation as well, but order was a big thing with 6 people in our family. Like Jen and I wake up at about 5 a.m. In between 5 a.m. and 5:30, we're trying to hammer out the schedule, who's picking up who and doing all those things. So if we don't talk about each other's day, even though there's a lot of the same, and sometimes that gets thrown out. Well, I'm going to work today. You're like, well, I know that, but who's picking up all the kids? Who's got a doctor's appointment? Who's got a dentist appointment? And if we don't keep talking, there's chaos. And it's not just with our schedule. It's just if we're not talking to each other, there's chaos that can breed. And so, but even getting the hard conversations on the calendar is important too.
Yeah, because setting aside, saying no, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna do it at a time when we both have space to do this. Incredibly important. So, the reconciliation piece is big.
We have to be quick to forgive and quick to give grace. Because listen, we talked about this too. We want that from God. We want that from other people. Then we want that grace. We want that forgiveness. So, I mean, it's interesting how the people that are closest to us, might be our spouse, might be our kids, we don't offer it as quickly because, it's home turf or whatever. I don't know what the issue is. It's sometimes easier for us to do it at work.
Yeah, it's harder. We have the capacity to hurt the most those who are close to us. Yeah. Just the familiarity, right? The relationship, right? The emotional connection, right? The hurt can come in. It's easy to push away or want to strike back or whatever. Yeah. So now the last one was knowledge. The K of work was knowledge. And we just say, man, again, it takes work. You got to be around other good married couples who are lifting up your marriage. Go to a conference together. Read a book together. There's just so many resources out there to potentially help you. You're right. There's great therapists out there. It takes time to find the right one, but there's great counselors, great therapists out there to help you work through stuff. You bring a lot into your marriage. In this day and age, it seems like more than ever. There's a lot of family history, family of origin stuff, traumas, personal experience, past relationships, and you bring all that in. Yep. And to think somehow it's just going to all be easy and okay, or you're not going to need help walking through that, or you're not going to need some people around you who are more mature than you, maybe gone through some of these things, that's just not smart.
Yeah, tools in your toolbox, you'll need that. And I think this is important too. You are on the knowledge train even in your dating relationship. Get the tools in your toolbox so that you can date smartly and well and with a purpose. You should be dating with a purpose from a biblical standpoint, I believe. And so I think that, listen, we're always learning. Like I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I had a guy that's been married for 60 years and he's like, I'm still learning. A couple weeks ago, I'm still got so much more to learn. And I'm like, man, so we don't stop on learning, not just learning about our spouse or our kids, but ourselves.
Yes.
And about who God is and his view of one of the ways we frame knowledge or we try to talk about is we have to keep learning about God and how God's order and design and his value of marriage. We have to keep learning about that because we can't forget that the culture in this world and even our own flesh is telling us just dip out.
Yeah.
Just give up.
No, we
That's
got to
why
keep
you fight.
going back to those truths, because it's easy for us to forget or to set it aside. We got to keep going back and being in the Word and seeking after that knowledge. And what we've said, this whole series, ultimately, it's marriage is a tool God uses to shape us. He uses it to help understand Him, understand ourselves and where our brokenness is and where we need Him. And again, that never stops. In this lifetime, that sanctification process, that shaping, forming thing, it should never stop. None of us ever arrive.
Yep.
You know, we continue to seek the Holy Spirit and ask Him to work and to shape us and to make us more like Jesus. And we get to live that out. Those who are married, man, that creates a great space to live and to learn those things and to, you know, represent the gospel. Like you said, as we started joking about, but our marriage says something. People are watching. Yep. And it's a place for the gospel.
And listening.
And they're listening as a place for the gospel to be lived out. So, hey, we loved you. Not loved. We do love you.
Yeah.
And we're coming to the end of the series this week. We hope you will join us. Hope you maybe invite some people to come, maybe who are, you know, are married and want to stay married and can be encouraged by this message. And then, man, after that, we're getting into Palm Sunday, Easter. And just this sweet time of the year where we get to celebrate who Jesus is. So we'll see you at the services Thursday night next week and Sunday morning.
Bless off.
Bless off.